the technology is used in a good way, in a responsible way, in a safe and secure way for the benefit of everyone. You need to assume that everything is possible. You need to see how to connect the dots.
Do you think AI can be a threat?
Advanced technology is sometimes indistinguishable from magic. You need to envision into a future, but then also have very clear milestones towards that and the ability to navigate.
Welcome to the program, and it's such a pleasure to have you.
A pleasure to be here.
For someone who's played such a pivotal role in advancing technology. So how do you introduce yourself, the world of AI today?
No, I'm very passionate about technology and what it can do actually for humanity. And first, I'm a scientist, engineer, but importantly, what I care about is how to advance technology to actually solve real problems for people, for society, for science. And I've been at Google now for almost 20 years, actually more than 10 years in search and in building products such as autocomplete, Google Trends, experiences. On the other hand, my roots are in actually scientific research. I've been at Bell Labs in the heyday of Bell Labs in the Mathematical Center. Really what I'm passionate about is how to drive breakthrough research in a way that we can then apply it to reality, to products, to science, to societal impact. And once we apply it to reality, then it brings up the next research question that we need to solve. So I think about this research as intentional curiosity on how to solve problems that would make a difference. And this cycle between breakthrough research through transformative impact to the next question in research, I call it the magic cycle of research. And it's something that I was always excited about, but the exciting opportunity now is that this magic cycle is accelerating. It's faster than ever, it's broader scope than ever. And with AI, we can accelerate it further. And we can now use AI in order to solve problems in anything from day-to-day experiences to making information more accessible and useful to everyone. This is actually Google's mission, as well as to actually solve societal problems in climate, in education, and in healthcare, which is perhaps one of the biggest opportunity for us to use AI for the better of humanity.
So on a casual note, if you had to describe yourself, beyond the job titles, who is Yossi Matias in the world of AI today?
It's a great question. One thing I care about a lot are anything from the arts to the humanities to the opportunity actually to look into how we can see and provide education for everyone, how to advance culture and knowledge. In a way, the way I think about AI, the biggest premise of AI is an amplifier of human ingenuity. So for example, in science, it's really about how to accelerate scientific discovery. And for healthcare workers, it's how to empower the healthcare workers. In education, how to empower teachers. So really what I'm most passionate about is the notion of opportunity to have impact on everyday life and in a way actually amplify or liberate and enable us to even be more better humans.
So as you can see, the AI and technology is rapidly booming also in India. So what, according to you, would be one breakthrough would make a major difference in terms of patient care in healthcare industry?
So I think that the big opportunity is that with AI and technology, we are actually enabling access to many more people to actually also participate in the area of innovation. We're seeing it also in coding, in software engineering. I now hear about people who never had experience writing code who now develop applications using AI. Similarly, I expect that we're going to open up more opportunities for people to do research, because with AI actually taking the kind of tasks that until today, you actually had to go through years of training in order to even participate in the important area of research. With AI helping people to say build AI models, to do literature search at scale, you can have more people actually participate in that. You should keep in mind that we're going to see many more progresses. So looking to see how to build on that, I think, is one of the biggest opportunities that we have here. That's why it's so important to have these conversations, to identify both what's already possible, what's going to be possible, but also what are areas that are still gaps that we need to fill, and also where some possible risks that we need to pay attention to and make sure that technology is used in a good way, in a responsible way, in a safe and secure way for the benefit of everyone.
Do you think AI can be a threat in any of the ways? Do you think that can happen?
I think that like every technology, the more powerful it is, then the more we need to make sure that we're doing it in the right way. And one important aspect of AI is to develop it in a responsible way, in a measured way, in a way that we know that it's actually beneficial to how we're using it. So we should definitely be very disciplined on how we're actually making progress with technology. Let me give an example. We're looking into how to develop AI for help with the diagnostic conversations. This is one area that actually we have the opportunity to help healthcare workers actually provide better services at scale. And we're doing it in a very measured way, with publishing, making research that we measure every step in the way and then take it to the next level. So after a sequence of papers in Nature, we now actually have a trial with virtual health providers in the US called Innovator Health to actually measure that to see how it actually works.
So the guardrails need to be in place, I guess.
Definitely, by all means. Obviously, we need to make sure that we keep the basic aspects of security and privacy and equitability and empowerment in the most possible way, and also put the right guardrails so the technology cannot be used by either bad actors or sloppy actors, for that matter.
You've worked with some great innovators in your time. So what are some qualities you think that would separate a good innovator from a great one?
It's a great question. I think that asking questions and not taking anything for granted is one of the attributes that we need. So I think that for an innovator, you need to assume that everything is possible. You need to see how to connect the dots. You need to envision into a future, but also both be a dreamer, but then also have very clear milestone towards that and the ability to navigate in order to do that. By the way, this is another area where AI, I think, can be very helpful because AI is a companion. Again, I think about AI as an enabler of polymath in your pocket. You can actually now have assistance across disciplines and see how to make progress towards that.
So you've spent your years in your careers, shaping the future. So what is that one message you would like our audience to remember as far as technology or innovation or digitalization is concerned in this relevant world today?
So there's an old saying that is worthwhile to keep in mind, that technology, the things are progressing slower than you expect in the short term, but faster than you expect in the long term. And another, important notion to keep in mind, this is Arthur C. Clarke kind of thing, is that advanced technology is sometimes indistinguishable from magic, to paraphrase on that. But it's quite interesting to note that when you see a first technology for the first time, it's magical, and then you just get used to that. For example, I remember for years we were talking about self-driving cars. And for years, it was kind of people were started to be skeptic. Is it ever going to happen, right? So in the short term, it actually took a little longer. And now, boom, we have actually self-driving cars in California all the time with Waymo. And also, when you get into that, it's magical. And just a few moments later, it's just working. You just get used to it. Even though I'm still feel the magic every time, I just assume it works. So this is true across all technologies, that things that may appear impossible are going to happen. I've yet to see something that is not possible, to be honest. It's just a matter of time and resources. And once it happens, you just assume it's there. So with AI, actually, I like to think about this ambient intelligence. When it's working well, you actually don't pay attention, it just works. You look for information, you just Google it. You want to talk to your computer, you just pick up. Now it's actually working, right? I remember 10 years ago, I started working on conversational AI. This was the aspiration. Can we ever get into talking with the computer is much like we're talking with each other, and now we can.
So according to you, is there any prediction that might sound very crazy today, but could be normal down the line, maybe after 10 years or so?
I think our aspiration should be that nobody should be surprised by disease. I think we should understand the human body well enough and healthcare well enough so we can actually make constant progress towards eradicating all diseases and be able to develop the right drugs and be able to have the right treatments. We should really have this bold vision into the future. And importantly, progress is not linear. So I'm hopeful that with AI accelerating scientific discovery, with AI accelerating healthcare, we are going to see progress which is not linear, which is going to be a step function. Same applies on other areas. I'm leading what we call crisis resilience at Google, and we're using AI in order to predict floods, to predict storms, to predict extreme heat. And our North Star is very simple. Nobody should ever be surprised by a natural disaster coming their way. I reflect back 9 years ago, I was here in Bihar in India, and I saw a village that was struck by a flood overnight. Everybody was surprised, a few people perished. Nobody should be surprised by that. Now, 9 years later, we actually built up a system that provides flood prediction in over 150 countries, covering 2 billion people. We started actually here in India before expanding into the rest of the world. And we took a problem that was considered impossible just a decade ago to something that just works.
You have achieved so much and witnessed some remarkable breakthroughs, be it in digital technology or in healthcare. So what inspires you to, go ahead every day?
Well, it's about being both a scientist and engineer. I'm both inspired by asking the next scientific questions, intellectual challenges, the things that are still seem impossible that we need to make possible. And importantly, and perhaps even more so, the opportunity to make a difference.
Thank you, Dr. Yossi, for your time. And it was wonderful interacting with you. And thank you so much for such an innovative and thoughtful conversation I had with you.
Thank you so much.